Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back for another episode of Bell to Bell, brought to you by jackpotcity.ca.com. Download the app wherever you can. Free spins, big wins. Jackpot City's play some slots. What is going on, RV? How are you today?
I'm excited, man. Big
Excited.
weekend. Big weekend.
It was a solid weekend of wrestling.
Solid. I thought it was amazing.
There was a lot going on. We had one of the most fun events of the year, the Royal Rumble, which we're going to talk about. We had a pretty solid follow-up on Monday Night Raw. There were some things that I kind of felt about that, but we'll get to that when we get to that. First things first, let's talk about the Royal Rumble. Let's talk about our big winners. Number one, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, the Men's Royal Rumble that took place in the main event of the event. How did you feel about Roman Reigns being the one to win the Royal Rumble?
Listen, you and I are going to WrestleMania. We're going to be there. How could you be disappointed to see Roman Reigns in the main event? For anyone that's upset, is clearly not going to Mania and has not seen Roman Reigns live, but he is the main attraction. And there was a little piece of me, as I predicted, that Gunther, I thought, was going to somehow win because I thought Roman would have a different storyline going in. But I'm so glad that Roman won because even after Raw's promo yesterday, the segment that him and Punk had, I'm like, the build-up already looks really strong. But nothing wrong with Roman Reigns winning because he is a tribal chief and we need him back.
There was I'm glad Roman won. I think Roman is a perfectly fine winner. Like I said, he's a proven draw. Like, he's gonna put butts in seats. Whatever he does matters. The Rumble itself, though, I kind of felt like, however it was produced, wasn't really produced very well because a lot of the people who you believed could have won, like, it did come down to like Gunther and Roman, and those are probably the two of the final four. I know Randy was in there, and there's always a potential he could have maybe won. Logan, I was not expecting to win at all. So it's like, you know, you have Brock and you have Braun, and you have Cody and you have Jacob Fatu and all these people you believed could have won. It didn't really boil down to them, and they didn't like fully, like they did, and they didn't fully interact as much as I would have liked them to. You know what I mean? To make it feel like, oh, anybody could win this. Like, imagine the final four was like Jacob, Cody, Orton, and Roman, or, you know, throw Gunther in there or something. Like, I think there would have been a little bit more hype to, like, I don't know. I just felt like as good as the Rumble was, and it was good. It wasn't horrible as like a lot of people online were saying.
Yeah, some people are calling it like one of the worst Rumbles ever. I do not agree with that take at all.
There was something about, like, there was a very specific spot where Jey Uso was making his entrance, and he was taking his sweet time making his entrance as per usual, and they kind of like quickly cut to LA Knight and Cody Rhodes eliminating Brock Lesnar, and then it goes back to Jey Uso making his entrance. That should have been a bigger moment, you know what I mean? Like, Brock Lesnar being eliminated, especially LA Knight being involved with that, and LA Knight's someone that kind of goes up and down all the time. Like, a definitive moment like that for LA Knight is a big deal, and it kind of was kind of like in the middle of a yeet party. So little things like that kind of bothered me more so than anything else. But Roman was the right winner, I believe.
Well, is it a Royal Rumble if there's no controversy? Last year, we were upset the way I think Damian Priest, right, eliminated Drew McIntyre. We weren't sure if it was a blunder, if it was a botch. And
that too was also like, it felt like a camera situation where they didn't have the camera in the right place, right?
Yeah, well, who came out after Jey Uso? Do you remember?
Roman.
Yeah, so you can't have Roman and Brock in the ring at the same time, so it's okay.
No, but then maybe you should have had Brock eliminated before Jay's number hit. You get what I'm trying to say? And then hit Jay's music. It just in the mess of it all. Like, people are looking at Jey Uso eating, and then, you know, they're probably all focused on Jay going like this, and Brock Lesnar is getting eliminated in the ring. That's a little offensive, you know? Like, I get it what you're trying to say, Roman, and if you don't want Roman and Brock to cross paths, like, but wouldn't it have been better, like, if you had just eliminated Brock Lesnar when everyone was paying attention to the ring, and then went back to Jay coming out? You don't get what I'm trying to say? Or fully have Jay coming out, and then have the music stop, Jay's in there, does this thing, and then Brock gets eliminated after, boom, countdown again, Roman comes out. There's ways around it. It was really weird.
Well, let's be honest. I think the issue was Jay just took a little too long to enter, and he didn't really understand what time frame he was on trying to enter the ring, right? So I'm sure there was a spot, Cody and LA Knight, they were going to have that moment. Because you can see the ref yelling at Jey Uso at one point, get in the ring, right? Get in the ring. But I had no problem with it. That's what the Royal Rumble is, right? Surprises. Yeah. It was just like, oh my God, Brock Lesnar got eliminated.
But it wasn't, it was like such a, like, they just panned to it, it happened, and then they moved on. Even when, then there was a point where, like, I remember people being like, oh, like, Jay's inside the ring, is Brock gonna go attack Jay now? And like, no. Brock looked at Jay, Jay got into the ring, did his little da-da-da-da, and Brock disappeared. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that was one part in particular that I thought was a little frustrating. You bring up the word surprises, and it's not necessarily something I'm that upset about, but there was a little bit of a lack of surprises in this Rumble, which is something people expect.
Surprise, we have La Parka. How would you not be surprised?
That's not even the same La Parka that I grew up watching, as much as they want to pretend that it is. I am not.
What else do you guys want? What does the world want?
I am not. You were Mr. Iguana guy. I like Mr. Iguana, but that's not like a, oh my God, Mr. Iguana's there. He's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Yes, we could have had a few other guys enter the Rumble. Kit Wilson would have been nice. You know, I think he would have got a nice pop. But I know I've mentioned to this before too. Whoever was going to enter was not going to win. So why does it matter? You know, even with the surprise, like,
I'm not saying he was going to win, but I think if a Chris Jericho was to enter, people would have been. I don't been more. If he was in the Final Four, there was a belief that he could have won.
No, I don't need to see Chris Jericho in the Rumble. I think everyone that entered, it was fantastic. The only guy that I wish wasn't there was Finn Balor. He would have been nice to enter just because it's Finn Balor. But I do like his promos right now about, you know, earning his respect or not being respected enough. But Braun being eliminated right off the bat, I popped. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be a great Rumble.
We've had a lot of I was just wondering because Braun was my pick, and then he got eliminated like right at the beginning.
Imagine getting money on that, right? Imagine you actually went out and put like $100 in the guy, and you're like, what the hell?
Braun was my pick. I said Cody and Roman were the non-shocking, predictable. Like, if it happens, no one's gonna bat an eye because it's Cody and Roman. But Braun was my like underdog pick, and he got eliminated right off the bat. Another masked man. Let's talk about it really quickly. Yeah. Another masked man. We've had a lot of them.
Well, the Rumble, look, people say it was the worst Rumble of all time or one of the worst. Clearly, people have not been following Raw. They have not been following the storylines. And, you know, everyone just wants to see big surprises. That's all they want to see. But sometimes the Rumble just needs to continue as is and let the storylines work itself out. Now, Brock, he hasn't even been in WWE since what? When's the last time this guy showed up? He fought John Cena? Yeah, John Cena. So he's been away. He doesn't have anything to work with right now. So it's okay that he got eliminated. Braun being eliminated early in the Rumble, it still keeps his prestige. He doesn't look as weak if he gets thrown out early. We saw Obafemi. People were excited about him. He showed up. He dominated the Rumble. Yeah, he got eliminated, but he still put on a good show. Javon Evans, another NXT guy, he showed up. People were excited about him. Even when it came down to Gunther and Roman, I had my pick as Gunther. I've been mentioning that for the last couple of weeks. I sat up to think, oh shit, Gunther's going to win him. But then when Roman threw him out, I was like, oh crap. Like, I was fully invested into his Rumble. It wasn't the year like, what was it, when Randy Orton won one year, I think? That was a boring Royal Rumble. I think his most recent one, a couple of years ago maybe, or 3-4 years ago. I can't remember the timeline now.
2017?
2017 seems like 2 years ago to me. Whatever, 9 years ago. But there's been much worse Royal Rumbles than this. Like
that wasn't predictable.
Well, yeah. Another big thing, because I think the 10 a.m. start of the Rumble, well, here on the West Coast, so you know, I get everyone is in a different time zone here. So I watched this Rumble without any social media. I turned my phone off completely. I didn't want any reactions. So I watched this on my own without any distractions. So I was fully invested into it. So maybe that could have been a reason, the early start. But I thought this Rumble was great. I actually got onto my phone and I was going to, go onto Instagram and be like, what a great Rumble. And people are just bashing it. Oh, this sucked. That sucked. No surprises. I was okay with it.
We talked about that a million times about how people have really high expectations. And when you ride on those high expectations, it's not always going to hit. I feel like I went in there with pretty just okay expectations that would be a good one. But the only point that I really do reveal, and I do agree, Oba and all that stuff was good too, but like we've talked about it last week. We talked about it on TWC show, and I think like the Rumble is one of those shows where you get the casual fans and maybe some of the lapsed fans that view in because it's a fun event that they look forward to watching every year, and they probably watched since they were a kid, and they might not be watching Raw and SmackDown every week, and they might not be watching every other pay-per-view later in the year, WrestlePalooza and stuff every month. So like to them, they expect surprises and they expect different things. So this is the show they look forward to every year, and they remember when they were a kid and they're being surprises and legends coming there. And I think that's where the disappointment comes from. Does it come from the hardcore fans that are watching every Monday SmackDown? Maybe a few, but I think the majority is the casual random fan that was tuning in and being like, well, like, I don't even know who these luchadors are. Why were there so many masked men? Or like, I don't even know, like, why was it two Americanos? Like that, those are the fans that were upset. No, it was cool for us because we watch every week and it was funny. But like, that's where, and like, they don't know who Mr. Iguana and La Parca is. A lot of them probably wonder. I forget who. So someone I'm like was watching, like, that watcher was like, who's this Oba Femi guy? Because they don't watch NXT. So it's like, so that's where like I think the disappointment comes, is because not everybody is us. Not everybody's on the internet reading the dirt sheets, every news article, every backstage wrestling observer just floor. It's like, that's not every single fan that's tuning in, especially during WrestleMania season. This is the time to cater to a fan base that might have fallen out of wrestling, that casually tunes in once in a while, you know, and in that sense, it was a little bit of a letdown. It was a little bit of a letdown because there's nothing in, and I think maybe the women's, and we'll get to that after though, did it a little bit better than the men's in terms of like, you know, the Bella Twins they're bigger than just pro wrestling. So like Brie coming back was like one of the biggest pops in that match. The men's didn't really have a lot of that. And when you have someone that is like bigger than wrestling, like a Brock Lesnar, and he gets eliminated like it's a nothing, while a guy's in the crowd eating that you know was related to Roman Reigns.
Well, I don't think that's true, because LA Knight had a big pop when he showed up.
Yeah, but Saudi loves LA Knight. That's a pop from
he had a great reaction.
The Saudi Arabian hardcore fan base.
Yeah, they love LA Knight there. But again, the casual fan, the problem with the casual fan is, again, we have a mutual somebody who's like, man, this sucks. Chris Jericho didn't show up. Yeah. So the casual fan, all they want is, they want Austin, they want Rock, they want Big Show.
They want the Attitude Era.
Yeah, they just want those guys to show up. And again, we watch this weekly. WWE's not going to ruin their whole storyline, so a casual fan can be happy that Chris Jericho won the Rumble. All right,
and most of them going to check out for a month, pop back in for WrestleMania. Yeah.
They're going
some
to.
Of them are just going to check out right after WrestleMania, maybe come back around for SummerSlam. The OG WWE fan.
I had a buddy who's like, man, I can't believe Roman Reigns won, right? And then I'm like, hey, it's going to be pretty cool. It might be CM Punk and Roman Reigns. That's my prediction for WrestleMania. He's like, oh shit, that's going to be pretty sick, actually. So people change their mind real quick. So I don't have a problem with any of it. I get it. The casual fans, you got to attract them. I probably do agree. Sure, maybe bring in like one old legend. But the casual fan gets upset when that old legend gets eliminated anyways. Like if, I don't know, Goldust came back, they probably would want Goldust to win the Rumble. Goldust can't win the Rumble, you know? Sorry, casual fans. It doesn't go your way all the time.
But also, there's a lot of people in that I didn't think Ray Phoenix was going to win the Rumble. I didn't think La Parca was going to win the Royal Rumble. I didn't think either one of the El Grandes were going to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but there's always
if your argument is based off of this person shouldn't be in there because they weren't going to win, I didn't think like 80% of the people in that Rumble were going to win the Rumble. There's probably five guys.
Some good numbers. There are some good numbers this year, I think.
5-6 guys that maybe could have won. Roman, Cody,
better
Brock,
than the two we get every year. Last year we just thought it was Cody. Last year we just thought
a lot of people thought it was going to be Cena last year. Last year was stacked.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about 2 years ago.
But that's what gets the point. My point is that every year there's only like 5 to 6 people that you maybe think could win, and like the other 24th people are like, it could be anybody. So if your argument is they're not going to come in because they're not going to win, well, that's every year. That's every Rumble. There's no point in my life where I thought all 30 participants, like I never thought there was like, D'Lo Brown's taking this, and no disrespect to D'Lo Brown, but you know what I mean? Like, or this tag team wrestler A is going to win it and break away from his tag team and go after that world title. At least not ever since it was past the age of like 15, maybe younger. Like,
yeah, well, again, can't make the casual fans happy. I, again, watched this without, any technology. My phone was turned off. No Twitter, no Instagram, no Facebook. So I absolutely enjoyed it. I think everyone in there was great. I don't know, like who else? Like other than Chris Jericho, who else could we have seen?
I don't know. JBL. I know the one that everyone always wants to see, especially the casual fans, because we talked about it when we went to the Survivor Series, and everyone kept asking me, like, I knew, like, was The Rock coming? Is The Rock coming? Like, Like, I don't think The Rock was gonna be in the Rumble. And maybe they wanted more celebrities or something. I don't know. People do pop for like the Bad Bunny Jelly Roll appearances or something. Like, I don't know what surprises they wanted, but there's a lack of it. Let me ask you this then. Do you have any do you have a prediction of who you think the Masked Man was this time around?
I'm gonna continue with saying it's Austin Theory. But
Yeah.
Adam Pearce also kind of made that reference like, hey, maybe it was Austin Theory. He was a Masked Man last time. So
I do like on Raw how they kind of made it like there is like initial thought was, wait, maybe this could be Seth. Second thought was, okay, maybe this is someone already in the group that is screwing over Braun, but is playing it off. And the only two people I think, well, definitely wasn't Bronson Reed. So I'm like, Austin Theory.
why would you think it's not Austin Reed? It could be any Masked Man.
Austin Theory or Logan Paul. I'm like, either one of these guys came out here, screwed Braun, and then got into the Rumble because they all made an agreement on the Raw prior to that like, hey, this Rumble's for Braun. Remember, they were in the locker room, and the only person that kind of seem like, what the fuck was like Austin Theory. So that's why I'm like, maybe it was him, and maybe he is an inside man for Seth Rollins. Like a lot of people are predicting, like he joined the group after Seth got taken out. Seth's, Austin Theory is working from the inside. Or the third thing that it could maybe be is maybe Pierce really does hate the Vision this much and is annoyed with him so much that he planted someone to take out Braun Breaker as payback for like having to be forced to reinstate him and put him in the Rumble. And that's kind of what Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman were alluding to at the beginning of Raw. Like, Pierce, did you have anything to do with it? And as much as we ran them,
it could have been Adam Pearce.
As much as we ran the Masked Man chorus with Becky and then Austin Theory and then this Masked Man, like, even when R-Truth returned last year and beat up Cena in a black hoodie and a mask, like it's very a common thing that was a great idea to me back in the day, like a Masked Man, but we get it like every 4 months now.
So after seeing what happened in the Rumble now, both men's and women, are you kind of excited to heading into WrestleMania? Like, I guess
I'm always excited to head into WrestleMania. That's the thing, and I really do believe it doesn't even matter how bad the buildup is. Mania, for the most part, some of the best Manias had the worst buildup. Take a look at WrestleMania 31. That buildup sucked. Everyone was like, "This Mania is gonna suck." Blah blah blah, and it ended up being like one of everybody's favorite WrestleMania, the heist in the century, Seth cashing in and stuff. So I'm excited regardless. Now, I didn't know, like, when Roman won, I'm like, what am I looking forward to CM Punk and Roman Reigns? Like that was a question I had to ask myself. Like, and we'll get to the women's in a second, but yesterday's promo on Monday Night Raw sold me. I am sold because my thought process was, okay, well, technically, like, Roman and Punk wrestled each other last year at WrestleMania with Seth involved, and there was a triple threat. So like, we're just running it back with Roman and Punk. But then I was like, I also do not care to see Roman wrestle Cody or Drew. And I know a lot of people feel like he kind of brushed off Drew, but like, he does have a point. He's beaten Drew a bunch of times and he could go after the title he's built. But I hate you, and hate is strong. And I think the way they told the story yesterday was perfect, because even Roman was kind of like, do you guys want me to wrestle? He was having fun with the Philly crowd. Like, you guys booed me when I won the Royal Rumble. Now I'm back here after Saudi and you guys are cheering for me. Who do you guys want me to go after? And the fans, obviously in Philly, wanted him to go after Punk. And they did the best thing they could do. Punk just ignored Roman at first and addressed Finn. And Roman's facial expressions were money. I'm like, oh, this insecure egomaniac is pissed right now, because how dare you brush me off and address Finn Balor when I'm in the ring, my segment trying to, hype up who I'm going to pick for WrestleMania. And then the back and forth is great. I think Punk bringing up, I'm here all the time. You're part-time now. I went to 30 countries in 10 days or something, he said, and he started naming them. Then in that moment, you're siding with Punk. You're like, yeah, that's true. He's telling the truth. And then Roman talks, and you're siding with Roman. You're like, yeah, you did take a 10-year vacation, and this is true. And the back and forth was great, because every moment of it, you're like, because technically they're both good guys. They're both baby faces at this particular moment. That's kind of hard to book, but they've been planting the seeds for this from the moment.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Punk came back. And to be fair, they've been planting seeds for this before Punk came back. I remember Roman going on podcasts and saying like, oh, he's not a needle mover. He should have come back here. Like, I don't care. And like, and Roman brought up Punk 10 years ago, going on his ex-best friend's podcast with Colt Cabana and saying, I was wrestling Roman and, they wanted me to make Roman look strong, but I was still going over, but they wanted me to make Roman look strong. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, so like get beat up the whole time. And Vince just kept emphasizing like, make Roman look strong. And like, that was something the internet ran with for the 5 years that they hated Roman Reigns until he turned into a bad guy. Oh, this is the company's guy. Like CM Punk exposed him as the company guy. That's the guy they want to push. Well, we don't want to support him then. CM Punk added fuel to that fire 100% with that podcast. And for Roman to be like, for 10 years, 10 years ago, so you did that and I made my life harder than it should be. There's a level of like, one, it probably did to an extent, but also like, what a level of entitlement that you thought it should have just been easier for you. And this was your biggest thing that screwed you over was Punk said this shit and the fans turned on you. I also like the idea that he was like, they asked me if I was okay with you coming back. I said, sure, making a promise with Paul Heyman. Then you tried to brainwash my cousins. Hell, you almost tried to brainwash me with this Zebra Bros thing and yada, yada, yada. Like, and it also, like, I always say, like, Punk has the best theme song being Cult of Personality because he is like a cult leader. I'm a CM Punk fan. And sometimes I feel like we're in a cult because like we follow this guy unconditionally.
I
we
see
will
it.
support
No matter
him.
what he does,
Like,
he's the best in the world. Everything.
He is the best in the world since day one, and everybody knows it. And then but like to play on that and the way that like I love like the little brainwashing touch because I'm like it's true. Like he knows how to get people to like him and side with him and like, no, I'm a good guy. Like we're all buddies. Like, do you remember when Jay was like he was super kicking Punk heading into I think it was Money in the Bank or something. Well, maybe it was a tournament or something, and like it was him, LA Knight, and Jay, and they were having mix-ups, and like Punk was like, Jay didn't know if he like was turning bad or not. But at the end of the day, like Jay just kind of like sided with Punk, and they were all cool. Like he's good at making like we're friends, we're cool, like, yada yada yada. And Roman's seeing through it. He's like, nah, like don't try to get down on me.
Takes advantage of everyone, man. He knows he's playing the game.
And he's playing the game, and I just like the touch that Roman's like, I see it, I see through you, and I'm picking you. And there's a lot of people on the internet like, well, why is Roman going for the secondary title? Like he made fun of it when Seth had it. Yeah, at the time Roman had 2 of the titles hogged, and he was making fun of them making that title because they only made it because Roman wasn't losing any of those other titles. Of course he's gonna diss it. It doesn't devalue the title and make it the secondary title. That's an opinion that you make yourself as a fan. That's not an opinion that one man can really make you believe.
Because you feel one champion is more dominant than the other.
Yeah, really and of course the WWE Championship has a better lineage. And in my opinion, I really think they should tie this world title's lineage to the old world title and continue it then, because then it also has a very rich history. But it's not even about the title. So people are like, why would he challenge for this title if he doesn't think it's the main title? He said it in the promo. I hate you. I'm gonna ruin your life.
All we needed to hear.
That's all. This has nothing to do with the belt. He just wants to, whatever CM Punk has, he wants to take it from him. Yeah. Because in that moment when Punk came out there and disrespected him and that dressed Finn Balor over him and then threw it in his face that this is my show, I call the shots here, Roman's ego said, you know what? F you. And it was great. And I'm hyper. I'm looking forward to it. I think it should main event night 2. I don't think anything Cody can do, like whether it's against Jacob or Drew or whatever it is, like I think Punk gets his night 2 main event and there's no bigger name to wrestle at this particular time than Roman Reigns for that spot.
Because Punk mentioned Finn before he got in, do you think there's a possibility we see a triple threat at WrestleMania with Finn, Roman, and Punk?
No, I do think
that's going to be build up Finn right now.
I don't want multiple triple threats and fatal 4-way main events. I think the other side on the WWE Championship side is going to be either a triple threat or a fatal 4. I think Finn's going to get a shot at Elimination Chamber. I think we might be getting Punk versus Finn at Chamber. I don't think Finn wins. I think you might have actually said it. I want Finn to be a world champion by the end of the year, without a doubt. I think he deserves another world title at some point, sometime soon. I think there's some effort. I stick with my prediction I made on the last or the first show of Bell to Bell that we did this year. This is the year we see the Judgment Day implode. And I do think, I don't know in what way, like maybe it's the Judgment Day trying to help Finn, but I think we get Dom. And I think we get Dom versus Finn or something at WrestleMania. And the Judgment Day all facing each other in a weird way.
Well, I mean, we've seen Roman and Punk and Seth in that triple threat match last year. And adding Finn, I think, would spice it up rather than just seeing Roman and Punk fight one-on-one. Because I don't know if I can watch a 30, what do you think it'll be, 30 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever they go?
I think a singles match and a triple threat match is a completely different thing. I think it cheapens in adding a third person because then you're going to imagine, I'm trying to think of an example. There is examples. But like, you know, I really don't want to use that one, but I was going to use one that for example, there'll always be a part of me that's like, dab, we never got like a Shawn Michaels Triple H singles match at WrestleMania. That would have been cool. They did wrestle at WrestleMania though, but it was a triple threat. It's not the same. Okay. You know, in another aspect, when I sit here, I go like, well, you know, Shawn Michaels retired against The Undertaker. And then he came back for a tag match. And in my brain, I separate. And I'm like, you know what? But at least his last singles match in his career was against The Undertaker. I like to separate things. I think a single match holds more significance than a fatal four-way, a single, you know what I mean? And I if it's a triple threat, like, I'm not saying it's a bad match or it shouldn't happen. Oh, maybe it happens a month after WrestleMania, Backlash or something. I just think, let it be a singles. But there's also something to, like, a one-on-one match, main event of WrestleMania, head-to-head. I'm pretty
now
sure.
You're also talking as a hardcore fan. Now I'm talking about, like you always mentioned, the casual fan.
Yeah, I don't think a casual fan. I'm gonna say this very bluntly with my chest out. I don't think the casual fan gives a crap about Finn Balor the way we do.
Okay. Possibly
not. And the way he's been booked for the last 5 years, they probably look at him as just a mid-carder. We're the ones sitting here with all this glory days about the Bullet Club and the Demon and how cool he was and he won the belt. Oh man, he's so good. We wish he had his moment. The casual fan doesn't. If I went and asked my brother-in-law right now, like, dude, what do you think about Finn Balor? He'd be like, oh yeah, he's cool. Like,
yeah, but if Finn came out as the Demon Finn in WrestleMania,
I don't even imagine explaining that to a fan that's
like that. I think the casual
if he did, I think it's cool, but I mean, like, I don't think he has the hype as a Cody or a Roman or a Punk or a Brock. You know, no, I don't even think Drew McIntyre really has that hype. You know,
I don't think Cody has hype with the casual fan. Truthfully.
Chaos everywhere in the WWE as we are on the road to WrestleMania, full of surprises, drama, and the landscape changing week to week. So many things are happening, but one thing we know for sure is that CM Punk will be facing Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. So we want to give our predictions of what we think or who we think is going to be facing Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. And how are we going to do this, RV?
Well, let's do this. Last week, what? You won like $750 on Wacky Panda. I think I won $500. So clearly this is our favorite game.
Yeah.
So how about we do this? You get a panda, you give your take. If you don't get a panda, people get to hear what I have to say.
All right, here goes for the 3 spins. Spin number 1. Spin number 2. Spin number 3, no Wacky Panda. And we won another $750. So my take for the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania is that it's going to be a triple threat match. I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre defending against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Jacob Fatu. I think one of them will win their way into the match through the Elimination Chamber, and the other person will find themselves in the match somehow with commitment and determination. I think Cody Rhodes probably walks out with the championship again for a feel-good moment. That all being said, guys, go to jackpotcity.ca, collect your bonus, play like the champ, win like a champion, play some Wacky Panda, and try to make more money than RB. Keep doing the thing.
Yeah.
Speaking about Drew, like, I do think the way they brushed off Drew, and the thing is that I don't think it's that bad, because I think wrestling fans like to take everything so literally and forget that this is a television show and they're telling us stories and the characters are going to have to say things that characters would say. And I think the way Roman brushed off Drew, it's fair because Roman had beaten Drew, like, for those 2 years he was on his reign of terror. And like, it's like him going to challenge Drew is something that we've seen before, and he's beaten him, and, you know, fans of, you know, probably think Roman would beat him again. Was like, once again, since CM Punk has been back since 2023, we have not seen a singles CM Punk and Roman Reigns match. We've seen them team up more times than we've even actually seen them wrestle each other. So it's like, they teamed up in 2 War Games matches now? They wrestled once in a triple threat. and I'm not counting Rumbles and stuff. Like, so like, this is more fresh and different than if Roman was to go face Drew. Is there money on the table with Drew and Roman down the road again at some point? I do think so, but like the Roman Reigns character would definitely be like, why would I go wrestle a guy and beat him for a title I've already established and a guy I've already beat him a bunch of times, and then kind of mocked CM Punk for like wrestling him over a bracelet? Like, that was funny. Like, you know, I enjoyed that. And and you know, and Punk got sensitive about the bracelet, and Roman got sensitive when Punk brought up his family. Like, they made that personal. I don't think you can make it personal with Drew and Roman right now, unless Drew goes back to, you beat me in my home country that time, I should have won, or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think what Drew's been doing with Cody has been more personal than what's going on with Roman.
I mean, I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan, so there was a little bit of disrespect towards him. I mean,
100%.
Right? So, but
are the good guys supposed to be respecting the bad guys, and the bad guys respecting the good guys?
There's history with all three of them.
Yeah.
Punk and Drew hate each other. Drew could have been a multiple-time world champion many times over, but CM Punk kept screwing him over. And obviously there's animosity between Roman and Punk. So I think it's okay to use that in the storyline, but if I'm Drew on SmackDown, I'd probably come out kind of pro and be like, hey, good, let these two idiots fight themselves, because I don't want to deal with any of them.
You beat me too, because my biggest thing is, listen, it's Tuesday, Raw was last night. We can sit here and talk about, was Drew brushed off? Was that offensive? Like, we can sit here and talk about that, but I don't really think it matters, just as long as Drew comes out and takes a shot back.
He's going to. Drew's going to take a shot back.
He has to take a shot back.
Yeah, he's gonna have a funny remark, and he'd be like, let those idiots go at it.
And that's what these characters show. I don't want to know that these characters respect each other and they all think they're great competitors. And Drew, like, I know the old baby face trope is to put over your opponent as much as you can, but then also like say I'm gonna beat them. But like, Roman's not a like straightforward baby face. Like, he is still an egomaniac, cocky, I run this place guy. It's just we all like doing this and acknowledging him now.
Well, I'll tell you this, I'll be wearing my Roman Reigns jacket at WrestleMania, sitting beside you, cheering for Roman to beat Punk.
CM Punk's in a
Not to my tribal chief.
I said this, I tweeted it, a lot of people didn't agree with me. I will stand on business on this. I think the women's Royal Rumble is better than the men's, and I don't know, like as much as like the men have really talented wrestlers and guys like Javon Evans and whatnot, and like I don't like the women, just straight up outright like just have more personalities and defined characters in their roster than the men. You know,
well, no, I thought the men's Rumble was better. But what the women did better was their outfits. I love the whole Power Ranger look. I actually was looking forward to every time a wrestler came in the women's Rumble to see what her outfit was going to look like, because they did a great job. But to say that was better than the men's, I don't agree with that.
I think it was. I think it was more exciting. I think there was more unpredictability with it to an extent. As much as I picked Liv Morgan and Liv Morgan won, I felt like there was more like there was other opportunities for other people to maybe win. I thought it was better produced. The Judgment Day girls in there together. Like, hell, half the time we barely got any of the guys that worked together and the vision did not look very strong in that match. Like, the Judgment Day girls looked strong in this match. Chelsea Green's hilarious. Her saving herself from elimination, landing on Alba's back and stuff. Sol Ruka was so impressive, trying to avoid eliminations, this and that. Lash Legend was dominant. I'm saying all these things about all different kind of women. The Bellas were obviously a highlight. I don't have these many things to say about the men's. You got to say it was filled with stars, and there was like the El Grande Americano moment. How they couldn't even capture the Brock Lesnar moment properly. There was less flaws in the men's and the women's.
One person or a female competitor that a lot of people are not talking about, who I was super impressed with, was Kiana James.
Yeah, and there you go.
She was so impressive in that match. And she's just, I don't know why she's not getting the appreciation on the internet. Everyone's talking more about Sol Ruka. Lash Legend, but dude, she stayed in there for a long time, and she came with some energy and some fire. And I love the little stuff between Charlotte and Alexa at the beginning. I did like Kiana James. This is probably the most I've actually focused and watched Kiana James. She's impressive,
and was
dude.
like, oh, she can wrestle.
Yeah,
she's actually good. I was so used to her being like the manager, sidekick person, like whatever. That I'm like, oh, I don't think I've actually on a SmackDown, a regular SmackDown, really paid attention to her wrestling, or because like I did here, because I was watching the Rumble and I was like focused. I was like, oh, she's good. And the way she, I think, who was it, Naya that she picked up and did like a Samoan drop to him, like, oh, whoa, she's strong. Like I don't know, I wasn't thinking that. But no, once again, like even like the Joshi part of this match when you had Io, Asuka, and Julia out there, like that was a hype moment. The men's didn't have moments like this. This is all I'm trying to say, and that's why I think if I'm talking about the
Oba
matches
and Brock had a moment.
they just kept staring at each other. They did not even touch each other. They
That's
just
a full
stared
moment.
and
A moment
stared
is a
and
moment.
stared and stared. I want action, like interaction. That's why I said like they dropped the ball about the men's. You know, Oba had an opportunity. If Oba eliminated Brock, maybe that would have been a big deal. But no, you get what I'm trying to say? Like the decisions that were made for the men's rumble were not as great as the decisions that were made for the women. Even as little as Rhea Ripley saluting Chelsea and her getting so happy was funnier to me because they have such defined personalities and characters than a lot of the things that happen to men's, because the men are just the men that just like we're supposed to like them because of the guys. I don't know. Like
The women's rumble was, I'm gonna say both these rumbles were really, really good.
they were both good. I just think one was better than the
even
other.
like when I'm saying I'm choosing the men's rumble, that I enjoyed it more doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the women's rumble. I really did enjoy the women's rumble. Now you're talking about surprises. Yes, Brie Bella came out, but I wanted to see Bianca. I wanted to see the EST of WWE. So I was a little disappointed that Bianca never made her return. So that was my pick to win the Rumble, but she didn't even appear.
No wonder you don't like the women's rumble that much. Your pick didn't even show up.
I lost a lot
But
of money.
that
I
is a
lost a lot of money.
common is a common opinion that a lot of people want to see Bianca, and I also
It
want
was
to
a
see
good
Bianca.
Rumble. It was a good Rumble. You know, Liv got her flowers. It's about time she wins, right? She's been runner up for a long time. I think they could have gone a bit longer with the Judgment Day girls staying in. But it was
Because you said to me at one point, oh, I think Liv eliminated Raquel too early, and I was like, well, she was gonna have to eliminate her at some point, right?
she could have stayed a little longer, but I would have to. I guess we did see Raw as well too, and Liv made a point of why she took out Raquel. But it still would have been better to see an accidental elimination.
Yo, she's a pro. You might want to call it gaslighting. I think it was actually true. Like, yo, like we both get an opportunity. Like, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, she did the post-Raw show with Sam Roberts, and she was like, you know, she said something like, you know, like, oh, like, why? They're like, why does Raquel look so mad at you after you won? Like, she's like, she was tired. She was in there for like 45 minutes. Like, what do you mean? Like. Of course she would be disappointed right after, but you know, like everybody's getting an opportunity here. I am. That being said, I'm happy Liv won. I think, you know, her and Natty have the record of being in every single Royal Rumble, all 9 Rumbles. Even Natty
Super
coming out as
impressive.
Natty, that was a moment. This is the first time we saw Natty. So do you get what I'm trying to say? There was more moments in the Women's Rumble than there were the Men's Rumble. We saw a whole new debut of a new version of Natalia. Add that to the list of things I'm saying that happened in the Women's Rumble. But and we saw the whole Maxine, Becky, Natty part where like they eliminated the Maxine and then Becky and Natty tried to become friends. And then, you know, there was just so much more better, good things in the women's and the men's. I'm just gonna, that's how I feel.
There probably could be, but the greatest moment of the night was definitely original El Grande versus
Oh, man.
the current. That to me, I was watching this and I popped. I'm like, oh my God, he's back. This is WrestleMania match happening in Vegas. This is gonna go down.
I am very
That
happy
was
for
the
Liv.
whole Royal Rumble to me.
We also had the return of Tiffany. I was very happy for Liv Morgan in the final three. Where
I've seen her. I didn't care about Tiffany coming back.
I say this with all jokes intended. I'm like, oh, they're in Saudi Arabia. Of course, the Royal Rumble is going to end with 3 blonde women. But I'm happy Liv won. I'm excited to see where everybody else goes. But that being that point with Liv, are you a little disappointed that Raquel didn't beat Stephanie last night? Or do you think they're going to go a little bit longer with this?
Just quickly going back to the Rumble, you're talking about surprises. Where the hell was AJ Lee, number 1? And number 2, yes, I really, really believed Raquel was going to win the world title last night. And I actually was so pissed off after she lost. I was like, I wanted to see Liv versus Raquel at WrestleMania.
I think we still might get to some of this. Might be a situation where it turns into a triple threat or something. But
really, you want to see Liv in a triple threat at Mania?
I don't. But I think
Yeah.
like
Liv,
I just think
it's funny. Like, I
think
like triple threat matches, but I want her in a singles match for the world
yeah, you
title.
were so hyped to throw Finn and Punk and
Yeah, 'cause I
and
love
Roman
single.
like no,
Let's
like
be
it's
honest,
no
I
big
love
like it's
single.
no big deal. You don't like Raquel or something? That's crazy. You don't like Big
Raquel,
Sexy?
I'm a big fan of Raquel. I think yesterday was the night I thought she was really gonna win. I
Same.
even tuned in. I'm like, okay, she's gonna win the title. This is gonna be a big
I
story.
just have this weird like they are really hard on Stephanie Vakir and they want to make her seem like
The Cody Rhodes of the women's wrestling.
Yeah, like the one right now, like the top of the division, and she's great. She's fantastic. I'm a Stephanie Vakir fan. But as a storyline character guy, Raquel and Liv is the story right now. Stephanie just seems like
Best story.
a side character to it. So like at least last year when the triple threat was Seth, Roman, and Punk, they were all intertwined and it made sense. All three of them are part of the same story. Those Shield guys that Punk brought in hate CM Punk. That's all we learned. But like I'm intrigued to how we get to Raquel and Liv being a singles match at WrestleMania if we can.
But maybe Liv still challenges for the other women's title.
Do you think so? She says she's going to be on SmackDown this week. We'll see what happens. And that picture is a little unclear either because like I was banking on Jade versus Bianca, but like if Bianca's not back or not coming back before Chamber, we don't know
maybe
yet.
Jordan Grace steps in.
It seems like they're building towards Jordan Grace and Jade. There's no Tiffany's back. Maybe Tiffany's going to want her title back. I don't know. Right? Like,
yeah, and Jordan Grace, she got eliminated like, without any big surprise either. I thought she went over early as well.
Two things before we move on from the Rumble, because I do want to talk about AJ Styles' match of the Rumble. First things first, we didn't mention, I will give the men another check mark of something that happened in their match. Very happy for Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys. In WWE.
There's a surprise right there, man.
There was another surprise that happened in the men's. Obviously, I don't know how many of the Saudis watch AEW because there wasn't much of a big pop, but I like how they showed his old school name first, changed it a new one. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the name. I believe Royce is like his kid's name, and then Keys was like his mom's maiden name or something like that. So I think that when it's meaningful like that, like I think it's cool. The same way like Blake Monroe, like Blake is Mariah's niece, and like that's why she picked that name. Like I think it's cool when you can have a name that's tied to something that's symbolic to you. I also think like, I don't know if they're going to do this, but I'm okay for them not to stray away from it being like Powerhouse Royce Keys. Like they can still nickname him Powerhouse, like the American Nightmare or the Tribal Chief or the Prodigy.
I'm
like,
not bothered. I'm not bothered by his name.
I'm not bothered by it, but anyone that like, oh, well, what about the Powerhouse? Well, like he can be Powerhouse Royce Keys. So it's another thing I want to touch on. One last thing I do want to touch on before we go to AJ is I am very happy that Brie Bella is back and the Bella twins are together. Not only because I'm a big Brie fan and she's been my favorite Bella since God knows how long, but more so because the last couple of times we've seen Nikki, she was just getting knocked the F out and like pushed into a pole, and like that run of her trying to get that title to be the top. And she cut that one really good promo on top of the table that one time, but like hasn't been working out with her as a single star. And it was funny that Brie brought it up on in the promo where she's like, I'm not just back because Nikki was getting her ass kicked every week and she looked like she needed some help. But they're back for the tag titles, and this is probably, and I could be wrong. I think I'm pretty right though. I think this is the most stacked, and like I'm actually looking forward to whatever the tag title match ends up being at WrestleMania for the women than I might have ever been before. Because you have Rhea and Io in there. You have Charlotte and Alexa. You have Lash and Nia. You have the Bella twins. You have the Kabuki Warriors still, like we'll see if Asuka and Kyrie can still get along after what happened with them. You have Bayley and Lyra. So I don't know. I think
it's going to be the way it's looking to me. I think it's going to be like a multi-woman TLC type of match at Mania.
A TLC, a gauntlet. TLC would be sick. I mean, look how like the men's tag division has been suffering for a minute, and look how good that match at SummerSlam was that I missed live a little bit, but I remember watching it after. Yeah, and I was like, RV, how was the ladder match? And you're like, dude, that was sick. And I was like, and I came home when I watched it, I'm like, crap, that was actually really good. So
that was great.
I think the women could do that. There could be some cool stipulation.
Io and Rhea from losing, like clean or being pinned. And women just go grab the titles by climbing the ladder. So everyone's still protected and doesn't make anyone look weak, and it keeps the division so interesting.
I don't know how many teams you could put in there because there's also teams that could be involved in that aren't maybe like the names that like Chelsea and Alba, Kiana and Julia. Like this is
it's a great way to get all the women on the roster. A match at WrestleMania, so I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be. Maybe a TLC, maybe a ladder match, maybe a gauntlet, maybe. I just think like I'm glad Bree's back. The tag titles have been around since 2018, and even they thought this was the best time to bring them back because the tag division has been hotter than it's ever been.
Quickly before we talk about AJ Styles, just want to know, obviously the Chamber is known for, you know, the winner typically gets a title shot at the other world champion. Do you think possibly they might change that this year and have like a women's tag team Chamber match instead?
That would be dope. I mean, if I'm correct, and I'm like 99% sure I am, weren't the inaugural champions crowned in a chamber? Isn't that where Bailey and Sasha first won it? I think so.
Was it in the Chamber?
It was a chamber to crown the first ever women's tag team champions. And that's what and I should remember that since Sasha's my favorite women's wrestler of all time. And also happy she finally got something. Yeah, I was in the chamber. So like,
would you be okay with that if Chamber 100%. wasn't to be crowning the world champion?
And we are in the era where like the men get something, the women get something. Like there's a men's rumble, there's a women's rumble, there's a men's Money in the Bank, there's a women's Money in the Bank. There's a men's War Games, there's a women's War Games. Yeah. I do think maybe one of the chamber matches will be to find an opponent for Drew. And I do think the other one could be the tag title thing. I think that'd be cool. A number one contender for the women's tag title.
Last year we had the same thing, right? Men's and women's chamber match.
Always, it's what we do, which I'm a fan of. I'm not saying it that way. I'm a fan of it, but I'm just saying like that would be a creative way to differentiate them.
Do you think there might only be one chamber match? Probably not, right?
No, I think there'll be two. I think the women will get one too. I'm not saying that probably has happened in the past where it was just one, but I do think they'll get two. And I think to mix it up, like, hey, the tag division's probably more stacked than the SmackDown singles division for the women. And the Raw division's kind of already like, if Liv's going for that belt, which right now her taking out Stephanie makes it seem that way. Put the women in the chamber. Let them have fun with it. And I'm down with all that. Speaking about chamber, someone who will not be there is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, who Gunther continues and has fully embraced the career killer name that we heard was trademarked not too long ago by WWE. And he's now retired. We know AJ has talked about
from WWE. Right.
Well, they kept saying that, and I don't know, but like we know AJ's wanted to retire for a couple of years now, and he said 2026 will be his last year. We didn't know if it was going to be like all the way till the end of the year to WrestleMania. There was no definite on AJ. He's also on record saying he's not really looking to have like a retirement tour like John Cena did and making it a big deal. He kind of just wants to, wrap it up this year. Like this is it.
He just started, the year just started, and he wrapped it up.
They wrapped it up. At least like the commentary and people have been saying like, AJ is now retired from the WWE, but I want to believe there's a slight chance maybe he might go somewhere else and still retire by the end of this year. Like
TNA.
Do you want to?
That's final stop.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm mad. I am a little
he never
not
put
mad.
his gloves down. He never put his gloves down.
Yeah, because he took them off and then he put them back on. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
That was the only weird part, was that he put them on, took them off and put them on.
And when he did that, right away, I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking this guy's gonna go back to TNA, because when you think of TNA, you think of AJ Styles. So I feel like he's gonna pay their respects and do it at TNA.
If he had one last match at TNA,
Samoa Joe.
Because you retired, you retired in his retirement match in WWE, but WWE has such a great relationship with TNA, like to give them that. But would they give them that? That's just a little selfless.
I think so.
WWE
money,
to
right?
give them that, right? Because you gotta remember, they have a relationship, a working relationship. Would they be like, hey, we don't want AJ to retire in our company, we want to retire in your guys? That seems like giving them a lot.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much more money they can make off AJ Styles, right? I'm sure you can continue to, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. But now, I still believe he's going to have one final match in TNA. Now, let's say he does. Is there someone that you can think of that he might?
I mean, I just go after the world champion. I'll say Mike Santana because he's the world champion, but maybe there's more meat on the bone with him wrestling Kazarian again, because they teased that, maybe because it's an old school throwback to like the past, nostalgia, biting a little bit. Maybe it's I don't know. Like you could throw him with a Nick Nemeth something, but I think Mike Santana. I think Mike Santana would make the most sense because he's the champ. I definitely don't want to see him wrestle Eddie Edwards. I'll tell you that.
I want to see AJ Styles' final match against Jeff Hardy.
Oh, that would be cool. That's also nostalgia, man, because they have wrestled in the WWE. in the past,
AJ versus
but-
Jeff Hardy for me would be the best way for him to go. But
see, now
I
you
still
say
believe-
that, and you say all this, and we even talk about the idea of him going to AEW and wrestling Osprey and Omega.
AEW probably not.
Doing
AEW
like
probably not.
doing a trios match, teaming with the Bucks one last time. Like, you can say all this stuff, but I'm like, does it diminish Gunther a little bit if AJ lost to Gunther, leaves WWE, and goes wrestles other places?
Not at all, because Gunther says, I got him out of the WWE. Like, he could not last here. So he had to, go somewhere else to wrestle. And even TNA, I'm going to add in, maybe he goes back to New Japan one final time. And joins up with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and they fight somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I could maybe. I just think it's TNA or nothing.
So let's just say if this was AJ Styles' final
and
match.
also, go ahead.
Would you be upset with that? Like, are you okay?
No, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
AJ Styles, he did some cool stuff wrestling Dom, win the tag titles with Dragon Lee. AJ Styles hasn't felt like AJ Styles since I don't know, 2019, 20.
I was going to say 2 years ago, right?
No, you might be right. But even when he was tag team with Omos at WrestleMania, he is still pound for pound probably one of the most smoothest, best wrestlers in professional wrestling.
Yeah,
wrestles like a video game.
Phenomenal, right?
Barely makes any flaws. We talked about it last week where I said, well, he has been making a little more mishaps more recently than he ever has in his entire career. He is 100%. He is true to his name. He is phenomenal. But there's a lot he's done that is very forgettable. That is very just well,
that's WWE though, right? That's WWE.
2016 to 2020, he was the man, and then 21, 22, those periods of time, he did some funny stuff recently, dressing up as a janitor and stuff, stalking Dom. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's been so bad, but I remember I made a post recently about all the accolades they had, and someone's like, wow, AJ Styles only won the WWE title 2 times. I was like, yeah, he wasn't always in that title picture. We never even properly got an AJ Roman match during that run. We had a lot of live show here in Vancouver. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's funny because you say forgettable. I totally forgot AJ and Omos were tag champs.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I love AJ Styles. I'm a kid that went back in 2002, 2003. I was on MSN groups, role-playing accounts, pretending to be a wrestler. And my nickname was AJD because that's my initials, and it was kind of ripped off of RVD. And I didn't have an image of who my character was. And some person that was running this fad was like, hey, you're AJD, your character's AJ Styles, and I didn't know who this guy was, so I discovered AJ Styles and became a big fan of him ever since. And I'm oh, this guy's so cool, because at the same time I discovered TNA, I'm an AJ Styles fan. Who did he wrestle at WrestleMania 39?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't even know if he was on the card.
But regardless of whoever he wrestled, and his career being, I'm not going to say forgettable. His moments could probably be forgettable, but I still think overall, his debut at the Royal Rumble, his run at WWE was successful.
No, 100% successful. He deserved to be there.
They did put him over. He was in main event pictures. He did win the world title at a time when wrestling probably wasn't, the greatest.
And he's 100% a reliable main eventer. When they put him in the match against Cody in Paris, that was memorable.
Delivered. Yeah.
When they put him in against Cena, people wanted that. He was an established top guy. Now, was he booked as strong as a Roman or how Punk is now and others in the last few years? No. But that 2016 to 2020 was nothing but misses. And then there was a lot of he won titles. He won the US title. He won the Intercontinental. He won a bunch of stuff. It's just, I'm a fan. If he's retired, I'm okay with it. If he goes and wrestles one more match at TNA, I do think that would be the coolest thing. I will always just I'm still on he took his gloves off and he put them back on. What does that mean? The only thing that swerves me, and also it could just be propaganda BS, is Triple H went on the post show and said, AJ Styles talked to me and told me, this is really it. I just don't want to wrestle anymore. I'm not that I want to leave wrestling. Maybe you'll be a producer. He's I just don't want to do the in-ring anymore. And he's to be able to make that decision yourself and to do something for so long and just one day be I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't want to be in the ring and have a match. There's something to that, Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm definitely gonna miss is AJ Styles theme song when he enters.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
one of the
they
coolest theme
changed it that
songs.
one time and I didn't like it and they changed it back. So theme songs matter, man. I saw the funniest tweet after the Rumble where I think it was last year's Rumble, WrestleMania 40. It was last year's Rumble where, do you remember the Rumble was happening and both Roman and Seth were sitting in their balconies watching the Rumble match? And like someone caught like a fan video of Seth in the balcony and someone's music would hit and he'd also kind of be like confused. And then the name would pop up and he'd be like, oh yeah, yeah. That's how a lot of us feel these days. It's like we don't know the person's music until the name pops up. AJ had very definitive music. We knew when it was AJ. So good that when it hit on Monday Night Raw and Gunther rocked out, the fans got hyped.
I thought AJ Styles was coming out just to thank the fans and do that whole thing, but Gunther, he played it off. Gunther played it off. Well, I don't know if did you hear what Randy Orton said about theme songs?
I think Randy Orton's is up there. Because my thing is as much as the Undertaker's is the most legendary and iconic, and like I will just like die on the hill that the gong hitting is like it's the same as a glass shattering, or if you smell like it's one of those you hear it, you get hyped situations. But I still like 1997, 1998 Ministry fast-paced Undertaker theme song a little bit better. And I hated the fact he never brought it back from that whole 2004 to 2020 run. I'm like, come on, man, bring back that. Like, but it is iconic. It is. Is it the most iconic? I think that's subjective. I don't think you can objectively say that that's the most iconic theme song. Some might say it's Austin's. Some might say it's the NWO's 90s porno sounding song. Some might say it's DX. Some might even say it's Randy Orton voices. A lot of marks last year would have been like, my time is now. You don't even know. That's the best one. So I don't know.
Do you have a favorite?
Do you have a favorite?
I do. Well, mine's obvious. What do you think?
My time is now?
It is. That's the greatest theme song of all time.
Well, see, I don't think so. I love
how is it not? When those trumpets hit, how do you not get excited?
The one, as much as I was a John Cena hater, the one thing I always did like was this theme song. So I'm not hating on it.
Yeah, look at we were at SummerSlam.
You know how many times those trumpets hit and I was pissed?
Yeah,
do you know how much PTSD I have from those trumpets hitting? Oh, not Cena's here.
Yeah, but it gave you a reaction.
Cena
You knew
won.
exactly who was coming on, right? Look at someone. We were at SummerSlam when his song dropped.
You were on your feet. I was on my chair. Okay, let's not get it confused.
Me and 50 other thousand people on their feet, right? Maybe you were sitting in your chair. That's it.
Like
It's
that Royal Rumble 2008. I hated that shit. Punks. I love Punk. I love Cult of Personality. I think I listen to that song just as a song, anyways.
But it's not a Cena level. CM Punk's theme song is not a Cena level. It's not.
Dude, it came on yesterday. It came on yesterday, and I got excited.
Yeah, but you're talking about the hardcore wrestling fan.
I forgot how great this theme song is. You know,
the casual fan has no idea who that song belongs to.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
CM Punk.
No, Cena song. Everybody knows Cena's theme song.
Cena sang his own song, so I'll give him that. I also still really love the OG Sky's the Limit Sasha Banks song. I think that's a great song. I told you the other day.
As a wrestling fan, but they're not iconic.
Voices. Listen to the fans sing Voices every time Randy Orton comes out. They know the lyrics. I know the lyrics word for word.
Okay, we're gonna play Voices for like 5 of our friends that don't watch wrestling, and we'll play Cena's song. We'll ask them.
They're gonna go home thinking like serial killer thoughts after listening to Voices. Watch.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for Cena's, I think my second favorite probably would be Glass Shattering, Stone Cold, right? And I'm biased. Bret Hart's. Bret. He's up there.
Like Austin's Glass Shot is a big deal. Once again, we literally like some of the factions like DX, Evolution, Line in the Sand, NWO. Like deals like when I remember playing the WWE video games, and shout out to WWE Games, 2K26 coming out soon, and the trailers and everything looks sick. But when I used to play those video games and like you had to pick your theme music, like I used Evolutions quite a bit too. So like.
So we always talk about
Triple H is my time, but the game is underrated. Shawn Michaels is, I think I'm cute, dude. Like we all got in trouble for listening to that as a kid. Like it's very hard, especially when you've been watching wrestling for like, I'm 34 now, you're like 37, like for 30 plus years. Like it's hard to like just nail down one song and say it's my favorite.
Well, everyone talks about their favorite. Do you have one theme song that you hated, Elvis?
Brie Mode song sucks, but it pumps me up because it's her song. Brie Mode. But like, I just like it because I like her.
There's a lot of women's.
I really hate it.
Forget the women's. Let's say for men's. Is there a theme song that you disliked for men's?
I'm still thinking about good ones. Like Shinsuke had a banger theme. Finn's was a banger theme.
What about
a theme
Enzo and
song?
Kaz? Their song was amazing.
There was a banger. That's what I mean. So okay, theme song I hated though.
Not gonna lie, I didn't like Shawn Michaels.
I love Shawn Michaels. It was my ringtone at one point. It went off in class. My teacher was like, "What is that? A flock of seagulls?" Because I think
what about something like right to censor?
Yeah, that's fucking horrible. It was just.
That was that even theme song?
Oh, I also don't like it when a theme song is just sirens. I think like Scott Steiner kind of had that where it was just sirens. I'm not a big fan of that. Theme songs I really dislike. I can't even hate on John Cena because I do like all of his theme songs. I'm trying to. Who was like a really bad theme song? I just still sitting here thinking about really good ones, like Nation of Domination, the oddities.
Like I said, truthfully speaking, Shawn Michaels' theme song was not one of my favorites. I just never liked it.
Shawn Michaels' earliest version of the theme songs, like when Sherry was singing the stuff, I didn't like, but like that final version of like 95, 96, 97, I really did like.
I'm sure there's probably like some low mid Carter's theme songs I can't really remember.
I'm a man, just a manly man.
No, that was great.
He's a
Rico's was good.
man.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Shawn Michaels.
Man.
There's something about his theme song that really annoys me.
You know what the dumbest theme song was Yoshitatsu. Like go listen to it. It's just like so upbeat and like fun loving, and it just like does not suit around. Maybe it fit like 2010, but like it does not live up to the hype. Yeah, I don't know. I always kind of think
okay. As much as I really like this guy, right, he's hilarious. He's an OG. R-Truth. I don't like his entrance music. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, I think he's always offbeat. He's just, I don't know, maybe it's the mic. There's a audio system there. I actually am not a fan of him singing his theme song walking down the ring.
Oh, that was something. Okay, so I didn't like it's only because I think I like the song they had before it better. I wasn't the biggest fan of oh my god, it was just in my head and now I lost it. I wasn't the biggest fan. Like, I'll give you another example. I love I Lie, I Cheat, I Steal so much that when Eddie went in that poppy mode and it was like that ding, and then went to that theme song, I wasn't the biggest fan of that theme song. There was someone more, Becky. I like Becky's old theme song so much. This new one hasn't really grown on me. I don't really care for them. I know she probably loves it, but it's just kind of like, I don't feel as much as I felt like the old one, you know? So that's another one. But otherwise, I don't know. It's hard.
I'll tell you one theme song I absolutely hate, and it's not even wrestling related, is the theme song to MASH. I hated MASH.
That's when you knew it was too late and I
hated that show,
yeah. Last thing, and then we'll wrap it up really quickly, just overall, because this was obviously a topic of discussion for the people. Going back, obviously, probably should talk about this way at the beginning, why people didn't like the Royal Rumble, why people were upset with it. I think a large part of it was that it was in Saudi Arabia, and anything that happens there, they were just going to hate on it anyways.
You don't think the early start had something to do with it?
No, I think it was just more, I think people kind of like early start most of the time, to be honest, because like you can move on with your day and whatnot. I think, I genuinely think the fact that they put up a stadium in like 20 days, and they put on a show, and even though like they had these LED lights on a lot of the chairs that made it look like nobody was sitting there, like,
yeah, I think I got rid of the slide.
I'm impressed with the stadium. I'm impressed with the setup. The stage felt bigger than ever. I'm not mad at the outfits that the women have to wear. I also think it creatively lets the women be like, oh, like I can get creative with this and make this bodysuit look cool.
That's part of the Rumble,
like make the best of a bad situation. Like, like they even, took jokes with it that we say all the time. And like a bunch of the girls made that Power Ranger reel, which was funny. Like, I just think I'm not like, it's like sitting and trying to like support whatever, but I'm just saying I think it was fine. I think it looked cool. Does it suck that it's not like in America or Canada that we can go to, or like in front of a loud European crowd, because they are probably like the hottest crowds? Yeah, I would, if I could pick, I'd rather be closest so we could have went to it and done some on location coverage and stuff. Or I would have been sick if it was in Europe, because like the crowd is better. So I do definitely agree with all those sentiments, but I think Saudi was fine, and they did pick up for the last match. They did pick up for like the main event, and like, I like, I'm not selfish too. So like, years moving forward, they want to do a WrestleMania in England. They want to do one in Australia. Like, I'm not going to be mad about it. Like, good for them. They
Everyone
deserve one
deserves
too.
one there, yeah.
It's
Give
a
each other time.
globally
It's okay.
known company. If they want to do a Royal Rumble in, I don't know, France or India, like, let them. Like, you know, like, we've had like so many years of having this stuff. So
Yeah, I'm
let it
okay
be.
with that.
That being said, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Bell to Bell. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Bell to Bell YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Instagram and TikTok. Watch the clips. I see you guys have been tuning into them a little bit more. Just keep checking them out. That's where you'll get the opinions I don't really share on my page that often. You know, so make sure you watch those clips. And yeah, follow Rincey Toys, follow the Wrestling Classic, check out our shows, check out my interviews. I just dropped an interview with independent wrestler Emily J. And we're trying to work on a couple of other things, but yeah, just subscribe. We're at like 75,000 subscribers over there now. So like, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dig it.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you guys all next week. Make sure, and last but not least, make sure you guys check out jackpotcity.com, jackpotcity.ca, download the app. Big free spins, big wins, join the chaos, have some fun, play some slots, keep doing the thing, and we'll see you all next time.